Hello and welcome back to another episode of Crypto Genesis. My name is Nico van der Berg, and today we're going to chat about Bitcoin. So I'm going to jump over to my screen, and here we are, Bitcoin on the daily chart. As you can see from what I've said in yesterday's video, the fact that we've broken below does suggest that we are looking to come lower to around about the $5,800 level, up to the $6,400 level. Let me just move myself to this side of the screen. And we can see that Bitcoin is still currently going down. And this does suggest that we are going to possibly close below this green liquid zone right here. By the way, I'm not in any trade positions at the moment. I was waiting for a retest of this, of some kind of resistance and some kind of entry reason for me to go short again. But unfortunately, the market hasn't given me that opportunity yet. So what I'm looking at right now is if we do close this 4-hour candle in the next 2 hours below this green zone, I'll be looking for it to act as resistance, maybe a quick little retest to the upside, and then get continuation to the downside. If, however, we do see no entry reason, so there's a specific set of rules that I follow before I enter any trade. If all those rules are met, then I'll enter the trade at that given pivot point. So if I do find that all my rules have been met and that I do have an entry reason at this zone, I will look to go short. This would be a pretty good short opportunity in my opinion. So let's quickly just take the Fibonacci retracement levels and pull it all the way down to this swing low right now. It does suggest that we still come up to this green box round about the $7,850 level, $7,800 level. So maybe we do see a little bit of a correction to the upside, maybe some kind of sideways movement up there, or some kind of consolidation pattern that could play out, maybe like a pennant or a symmetrical triangle or something. So that's what I'll be looking for on our way up. So Fibonacci isn't really giving us much at the moment. If we switch on our major moving averages, it does look like the 21 exponential moving average does line up with our green box up here. So I do think that this could be an overextension to the downside. We should see some kind of relief bounce, as I said in yesterday's video, into this green area around about here. However, if Bitcoin does go sideways here and down, I do think this could be a level of support. It's been support in the past. Also, if I quickly go to the daily chart, it would be easier for me to show you. It has been support in the past. You can see it was support right there, was resistance first, support, and then support again. So this could be a lower low, which would make this a lower high than the previous high right here. So this would be a trend continuation. So it's possible that it might just only retrace up to this area around about 7,300, 7,200. Excuse me, 7,260 to about 7,500. And then we get some kind of rejection by either this trend line or this middle line of this falling channel. This does suggest that we go down to my targets around about the $6,400 level. Well, actually $6,200 level, excuse me, and the $5,800 level. If we do put on our volume profile here, we'll see that the volume node is suggesting that there is very little volume traded in these zones. And the fact that we've just lost a major pivot point once again, if I do pull in my Fibonacci retracement, let me just get to the swing low here. So if I go from swing low to swing high, we've just lost our 61.8% retracement level. So if we do close the daily candle below this, of course, we haven't closed the daily candle yet, so it's not, technically speaking, it's not correct to say we've lost it already. But if we do close the daily candle below this, I will be looking for the next support area around about 5,000, the mid 5,000s actually. It does look to me like we want to come into this green box more and more when I open the chart and look at things. So yes, no position at the moment. Like I said, if we go over to the weekly chart and we have our major moving averages on, it does look like we are currently being supported by our 100 exponential moving average. That is where we just wicked down to. This could give us an opportunity to push back up. A lot of things are pointing towards the $7,800 level as the next major level of resistance. So maybe I will let me open up another chart here real quick. Let's use XBT. This is the derivatives market for BitMexico. So if I start from scratch, right, I'm on a weekly chart right here, and you'll see that I've got an alert here. This is just in case we do come back up and test that as resistance, so that I can see if there's any opportunity to go short on Bitcoin. Again, if we do close the weekly candle above the 100 exponential moving average, that's a little bit more positive in my opinion. We could still see then that short-term bounce to the upside. If I do pull in a brand new set of Fibonacci levels right around here, we can see that that does line up with the 61.8, a little bit more, a little bit lower. There we go. That's it. So it does line up with the 61.8. So this is a major pivot point, in my opinion. If we do see a daily candle close below this, yeah, you know what? It does suggest to me, the more I look at this, it does suggest to me that we do see a pushback higher. Maybe short term, back up to around about the $7,900 level, maybe seven. It would be in a pocket. So if I can show you real quick, let's make a box around this zone right there. So let's make a box right there. And what we'll do is I'll draw in a brand new trend line right there. There we go. So there's the trend line. And what else do we need from this? Let's go to a daily chart real quick. There's another trend line that I want to draw in here. So you guys can see how I'm connecting my trend lines as well now. You can see we've been respecting that trend line running through there quite well. So yes, this would be a trend line that I'll be paying attention to. So I'll be looking at a zone round about anything from 7,700 and 8,100. If I find some kind of entry reason to go short here, maybe a retest of this exponential moving average, this light blue line here, that would suggest to me that this is the next pivot point if I'm looking at this a little bit more clearly without that many drawing tools on the chart. So just want to make sure that my level is correct. Yes, it is. Okay. So if we do go back to this chart with all the drawing tools, it also lines up with the middle line of this falling channel. That will be the next resistance zone. So for me, that would be the perfect trade. If we do go down and see what that would line up with as a Fibonacci retracement from the swing high to the swing low, if this was to be our swing low, it does line up with our first Fibonacci. No, it doesn't actually. It's actually lower than our first Fibonacci retracement level. So maybe we do see a relief rally from here. I wouldn't trade it though. I don't see any reason to get into a position at the moment until we see some kind of entry reason. But it's not looking good. in all honesty, this is not looking good at all. We are currently testing the 55 exponential moving average on the monthly chart. So on the monthly chart, we have still created a higher low than our previous low. So on the monthly, on the bigger picture, we are still structurally trending to the upside. But on the weekly, I would say that we have entered the bear market for Bitcoin. The moment that we broke this long-term trend line that I've been keeping an eye on, we've bounced from it a couple of times, like I've said before. The moment that we broke this on the daily chart to the downside, that really put me uh, into the bearish bias, if I can put it that way. Doesn't mean that Bitcoin can't recover and just break all these resistance points to the upside, and we see uh, some kind of bull run from this point. But it's highly unlikely. We are breaking some significant structure levels to the downside. If I go back to BitMEX's chart, and I'm on the daily and I put on the volume profile, you'll see that we are currently inside of that pocket that I was talking about. So this pocket does point to the mid 5,000s actually. So I think my target here for 6,200 to 5,800 might be a conservative target. I think it could go much lower than that. If I'm looking at the volume profile, it does suggest that the next area could be the mid 5,000s to the low 5,000s. So we could come down and test the lower part of this green box, this green liquid zone right here. And would that be a good thing or a bad thing? I think neither. I think it's good that that we are shaking out some weak hands in the market. We know that there is some minor capitulation taking place right now from some fundamental analysis. And the miners are basically forerunning the halving and selling out because they're not going to be profitable, especially with the price going from almost 14,000 all the way back down. I mean, this has been let me measure it all the way from the top to where we are right now. This has been a 50% correction that Bitcoin has been going through. So 50% correction, it's unheard of in a bull market, in a bull cycle. Usually we see from about 30 to 40%. So this is unusual behavior compared to the historical data and the historical behavior of Bitcoin and in a bull market. I mean, we had quite a big retracement in August of 2016, and let's measure it. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's measure it. It was about a 40%. Like I said, anything between 30 and 40% is the usual retracement. That's a 34%. This one was a 34%. So that's the usual retracement for Bitcoin. Going into the 50s now is for me the first time. Even going past 40, that's not a retracement. That is a that's a crash. This is not a correction, in my opinion. This is what a market looks like when it wants to enter into a bear cycle. I mean, we do see, if I quickly go into my moving averages, if we do switch on only the 50 and the 200 the 200 simple, we had the death cross right there. Some people speak about the death cross. We did have the death cross happen around about the 24th of October. And the last time this happened, if I can show you, the last time this happened, Bitcoin did push up and then it just continued to make lower lows, lower highs and lower lows. And this, where we are right now in Bitcoin, is going to be a lower low. If the price closes around this area today, this is going to be a lower low, and this would show that in the past we have seen the death cross, a rally up and then lower low. So this would act as a lower high, still very much trending to the downside. So right now it's difficult to be bullish at all on Bitcoin unless we start seeing some major recovery in the market. and unless we do see some momentum to the upside. But for now, I mean, we are seeing moving averages curving to the downside. They're getting a downward slope. That's never a good thing in any market. And it does look like we're in for a bumpy ride, guys. So be prepared and be ready to take it. I did receive some requests to look at traditional markets. So I'm going to just open up the Dow Jones here. You'll see that the Dow Jones is now currently holding a support level that we've had in at the 27,681 level, is currently holding support. We were expecting this blue sky breakout. We did see this pattern playing out here. We started seeing higher highs and a little bit of a almost like an ascending triangle, but not exactly right, not completely there, but it was almost like an ascending triangle. So I would suggest that the Dow Jones does continue its way up and work its way to 28,400 maybe. And this is all-time highs right now, so it is normal for it maybe to come down a little bit to the support level. Like I said, it could come down and retest these prior highs round about 27,362 to about 27,200. So it would be around about this zone running through here. So traditional market is maybe due for a retracement. I don't see it yet, though. I don't see any reason with the RSI. I don't see any reason um, to be bearish on this. I mean, we're above all major moving averages. We just broke structure to the upside, which was this green zone. We could come back down and test that support and continue back up. That would line up with our 55 exponential moving average as well. And let's see what NASDAQ is doing. I would assume it's pretty much doing the same thing. Yeah, we kind of hit our resistance level around about the 105 area, $105 area. I'm not sure if it's in dollars actually, but I do think we probably do see some sideways movement a little bit more. Let's look at the NAS 100. NAS 100. Here you can see this was a very beautiful ascending triangle. We called this to be a blue sky breakout, and for targets on this, I would take an extension tool, go from our swing low to our swing high, pull it back down, and let's see. Does it move its way, make its way up to around about 9,000? It's possible over the long term. I do think though that we are probably due for a little bit more of a correction. It does look that way. It does look like we're in for a little bit of a retracement. I'd be targeting a move back down to around about the 7,970 all the way up to 8,100. That would be this little pocket that I'll be looking for it to retrace back into. Doesn't mean that I'm taking a trade or shorting it. I will not short anything that is as bullish as this. This is a clear uptrend. We are making higher highs now and higher lows. So this is a clear uptrend, and I would be bullish on this as long as we remain above all major moving averages and we don't actually break this trend line to the downside. I'm going to keep that there so that we can come back to that at some point. So just to summarize the video real quick, back over to Bitcoin, we can see that we are now, as we're speaking, we have gone as low as $6,930. Okay, depending on whichever exchange you're looking at, that is very low. Currently trading at 7,042. So yes, maybe a little bit of a relief rally to the way up. Like I said before, I'll be keeping an eye on the $7,800 level as a possible entry point. But as the market goes sideways, this will come lower. So I will be looking for maybe this green box round around here. So depending on whenever the market shows me at that point, I will keep you guys updated with another video, of course. And until then, please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content and if you enjoy the material that I'm sharing with you. And thank you so much for tuning in again. We're going to make videos like this every single day, so stay tuned. Until then, trade in the green. Bye bye.